Hey everyone, what is going on? My name is Loadout Live, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you a brand new Payday 2 build tutorial, only about 8 months after the last one. I know it's been a long time coming, but this is a build I've wanted to do for a very long time, and now that the content that we need has come out in the update, I can finally make it. It is the triple Judge Shotgun build, so Akimbo Judge Primary and Judge Shotgun Secondary. This is a big one I've wanted to do since before the content was added in the update, but one that, since the update's come out, a lot of you have been asking for this. I put a poll out, and the vast majority of people wants to see this build first before anything else. So, the triple Judge Shotgun build is centered around dodge, it's centered around crits, and I'm trying to focus it on death sentence 1 down. I don't know what the gameplay is going to be, I'll talk about that a bit later, purely because I haven't played death sentence properly for a long time, but I've engineered it so it works on death sentence, so if you have the skill, which I may not in the gameplay, then you can get in with this build and have a really good time, and I think it works quite well. So for those of you who are new to these build videos and new to my channel in general, the way I do this is I go through all of my skills, talk about what I've picked and why if it's important. I go through my loadout, weapons, you know, deployables, all that stuff, then go into some gameplay and give some extra final thoughts on the build if they're needed. So first off, let's go over the skills and see what we've picked up. Okay, so as I said earlier, I'm centering this build around being playable on death sentence and even death sentence 1 down. So survivability, helping out other teammates, having converts to help you survive in the map, loads of different things like that. And the mastermind skill tree is where some of the most important skill points have been spent. So in the medic subtree, we have basic combat medic, aced quick fix, aced combat doctor, and aced inspire. In the controller subtree, we have basic force friendship, aced confident, basic joker, and aced partners in crime. And then finally in sharpshooter, we have basic stable shot and basic rifleman. So medic, I don't need to explain this. Everyone knows inspire is a necessity on any high difficulty, and the 2 doctor bags that go with it fit perfectly. Doesn't need any explanation here. For the controller subtree, going for converts, I mean, it's debatable where I've spent points, whether I could actually have focused some more into getting Joker aced. Would have liked it. I just wasn't quite sure about where to allocate my points, because I like some of the smaller skills like Rifleman and Stable Shot here, so having a bit more stability and then being able to move around a bit faster while aiming. There's just things like that that I really like, especially for a dodge build, where you want to be on the move, dodging bullets, trying to land the shots and get into cover as fast as you can. It's one of those things, so I could allocate those points into acing Joker, but I've chosen not to. So we've still got some very good skills. You can convert 2 enemies, you can have them supporting you in death sentence, especially if you're playing solo. That will help you and do you no end of good. So it's a really nice thing to have in the heist, and that's why I've picked those skills in particular. One suggestion I would make is possibly if you can move a few points around, go for hostage taker. As always with these build videos, I'm going to get people saying that I've got terrible taste in skills. I know people aren't going to like everything that I pick, and that's fine. These are my personal choices, so I always tend to offer slight adjustments to people who may want to. Hostage taker is one I would have got with a few more skill points. But let's move on to the enforcer skill set. So in the shotgunner subtree, we have basic underdog, aced shotgun CQB, aced shotgun impact, aced far away, and then basic for both close by and overkill. And in tank, we have basic resilience and basic transporter. Again, movements, getting bags around explains these. There's no other explanation needed there. Shotgunner, we've got triple Judge shotguns. You need the shotgun skills to accommodate that, and they also complement the crit skills very well as well. So just mainly damage, so being able to reload shotguns faster, aiming faster, extra damage, all that stuff. Nothing really needs particular explanation here. Apart from overkill, you don't need to get the ace here. There might be an illusion for some people that you need it, but especially in this case, the only thing it does when you ace it is apply the damage boost to any of the weapons that aren't shotguns or the saw. But in this build, your only weapons are shotguns, so in case it wasn't obvious, don't ace overkill. Don't do it. No need for it. No other explanation is needed for those, they just speak for themselves. We've picked up nothing in Technician, although my favourite skill in the Technician subtree of Oppressor, Steady Grip, I love that skill. Most people know that in a lot of my builds I go for that just for the beauty of the extra accuracy and stability. Another thing I couldn't quite afford. In the Ghost skill set though, however, in Artful Dodger we've aced duck and cover, parkour and inner pockets, mainly for the movement speed and dodge, but also to get us up to sneaky, which we have got the basic for. So our concealment is at 3 in this build, so we don't need to ace it to get all of the dodge that we want. Same with low blow, which I'll get to in a second. You don't need to get any aces here because your concealment is so good that it doesn't require the ace version of the skill. But speaking of low blow, in the Silent Killer subtree we got basics for second wind, optical illusions, and low blow. Low blow giving us our critical hit chance for using the Judge shotguns, because when you combine the Judges, and they're already quite high damage, with overkill and put them with crits, you have got something absolutely gorgeous here. Now, again, this is another thing people may not agree with me on. Unseen Strike is another great one for critical hit chance. If you can move your points around in a way that you think suits you, try and go for Unseen Strike. That's another good one. Increase your critical hit chance and make the judges even more beautiful. But I'm quite happy with just Low Blow on this and the way I have my points allocated. Then finally, in the Fugitive skill set, we have Ace 9 Lives and Ace Swan Song. If you've been a fan of my channel for any amount of time since the last build video that I've done, you know these two skills are non-negotiable. There is no build where I will not pick these two unless it's stealth. So, no argument there. You need Swan Song, you need 9 lives. If there's any debate, then don't even try and contest it because I'm not going to go for that. So those are two skills that are very important to me. But those are the skill sets, so it's very much a case of, as I've said, survivability. Dodging bullets, being able to deal damage back with the critical hit chance, with overkill, all that stuff, and then having your converts to support you in a high difficulty such as Death Sentence or Death Sentence 1 down. But anyway, let's move into our loadout and have a look what we've got. Now, as you would believe it, I mean, I know it's a shocker, we have Akimbo judges for our primary. I know, it's almost as if the title didn't tell us that. But for our attachments, we've got 000 buckshot and compact laser modules. Now, honestly, I could go for a barrel extension here. I don't actually think, have I tested this, how much... Right, okay, it doesn't change your concealment at all. So actually, as a matter of fact, I just learned on the go that we're going to have the Shark Teeth nozzle on this, or possibly the King's Crown Compensator, whichever one suits you. I think probably the King's Crown Compensator. I mean, stability's nice, but that suits well, and it hasn't changed our detection, so I've just learned something on the go whilst making this video. Oh, I look professional, don't I? So we'll slap that on as well. That goes really well, doesn't change your detection. Boosts, if you can put something on, go for it, but they haven't been dropping for me, and for some reason you can't buy boosts with Continental coins, so since resetting my progress, I have got barely any boosts in card drops. That's just something on my end. If you can put concealment on, if you need it, which you hopefully shouldn't, or just stability or accuracy, or even a team boost, because team boosts are glorious. And then the gadget, I mean, it doesn't change your concealment at all, so it's nice to have it on there, but it's no great shakes if you can't afford it, so that's up to you. And then finally, for our secondary, we have the Judge Shotgun with the same attachments, 000 buckshot and the compact laser module, no sight because of concealment, and as we've just discovered, slap this on, and there you go, we end up with 6 detection risk. So this is the point where it gets a bit dodgy, because you need your detection risk to be 5 or lower for you to make the most out of the dodge and crit skills. So now if I back out, my dodge will be 59. As you can see, it's not 60 anymore. So you could put the King's Crown Compensator on one of the two, the Akimbo or the single. That's up to you. I'll keep them on the Akimbos personally for myself, but it's your choice as to whether you want to put them on either one. That's completely up to you. Again, boost, if I could apply them, I would, but there's nothing else I can say there. I don't get this accuracy -4 boost and why that's still in the game. Someone can explain that to me, why that exists. I'd like to know, because it shouldn't be there, but that's our secondary weapon. Moving on, we have the electrical brass knuckles as our melee, so it's easier to get hostages in game, slap them, and then arrest them. We have the throwing knife throwable, just because it's a personal favourite of mine. 2 doctor bags, speaks for itself. 2-piece suit, we've been through the skills, and the perk deck is Rogue. Best dodge perk deck. If you want to dodge on Death Sentence, this is the perk deck for you. If you have any experience with dodge, there's no explanation needed there. But that is the loadout for the triple Judge shotgun build. So now, to round off the video, we're going to go into some gameplay, talk a little bit more about the build and what I think about it, the pros and cons, etc. And just generally give my final thoughts and reflect on the build. So, let's get into some gameplay and do some talking. The triple Judge shotgun build. Now, I alluded to this earlier in the video that I hadn't actually recorded the gameplay yet, and I want to stress that again now, because I haven't played Death Sentence professionally for quite a while. So, if I can get some Death Sentence gameplay, which you will be seeing now whether it is or not, if I can get some decent Death Sentence gameplay where I don't embarrass myself, then I will use it. But the main problem here is if it's not Death Sentence, it's not because the build doesn't work on there, it's just I don't have the experience with it that I used to. I've done every heist on Death Sentence, but once I finished that, I stepped back down to Mayhem because that was where I enjoyed the game most. It's where I found it more relaxing, and there's a certain type of practice on Death Sentence that I explained this on a live stream last night that I was doing, where I basically said you have to, at least on console for me, there's a habit of aiming your controller so that the enemy's head is right in the middle of the screen, so that you can, out of impulse, move the camera, the head's right in the middle, and you can just shoot, hit, fire, and they're dead. And it's one of those things where you practice it over and over again, and the more you practice it, the better you get. I am completely out of practice, so that's my little preface there for gameplay. So, depending on the difficulty, don't judge, that's my end, that's not the build's end. But, as big of a sidetrack as that was, this build is a really good one for Death Sentence because of, again, the dodge, the crits work beautifully, the really powerful shotguns. I mean, anyone who's played Payday 2 for even a short amount of time knows the Judge shotgun is a masterpiece of a weapon. Probably the best weapon in the game, to be completely honest. It's just, honestly, a phenomenal gun. It works really well in the game, it deals the high damage. When you combine it with skills like overkill and low blow, you have this little pocket masterpiece that just deals well in any scenario that you could possibly think of. So it's a given that when they add Akimbos, you're going to make a triple judge shotgun build, because it's one of the coolest things you can do. And that's why I was so happy to make it and why I enjoyed it so much. So the pros and cons of this build, honestly, first off, dodge is not my favourite thing. And I think I might have alluded to this in the past, but dodge for me, it's very much a circumstantial thing, because even though it's, at least in this build, there's a 60% chance that you dodge all bullets, in some heists, you're going to get hit all the time, because your chances will be poor. In some heists, you'll be running around like Sonic the Hedgehog, not movie Sonic, an actual game Sonic, and you won't be getting hit by anything. It's just chance. And dodge annoys me like that. It's not the most guaranteed, certified, reliable thing in the world, and that's why more recently I've been playing with Grinder. I've been using that deck a lot more. The perk deck, please no one make a joke about that in the description, because people do that all the time. That perk deck has been working phenomenally for me, so that's why I use that. I'm not a massive fan of dodge, so that's a personal downside, but a lot of people like using dodge anyway, so that's up to you. The pro, obviously, is the judge. The judge shotguns are beautiful. I mean, there's no explanation needed there. I've said it about 50 times now. And then finally, being able to use it on the highest difficulty is obviously a super, super important strong point for this build. Being able to use it on Death Sentence and use it reliably and be somewhat self-sufficient and being able to actually deal with Death Sentence helps a lot. And then having the AI to support you, if you're playing solo like I am in this gameplay, then it gets even better, because you've got the AI to support you. I mean, enemy spawns are increased when you have 3 AI, but I kind of feel like the bonuses they give you, like the extra dodge, for instance, will help a great deal. So if you're playing with 3 AI and you have the dodge skill, then you have 65 dodge. So it works beautifully. But this build is something that, like I've said, that I've wanted to make for a long time. I'm quite happy with the result, but as I said earlier, I fully expect people to tell me that I'm an absolute idiot for whatever skill I've picked being a poor choice, or for this skill being obsolete, and the fact that you didn't include this skill means you're an absolute idiot. People are going to say what they want to say, and as I always say, if you have a way that you would change the build, I am really interested to hear what you guys would say, as to, you know, instead of this skill I would have used that, but it's more about how you word it, because some people are a bit rude about it, some people actually know how to be respectful. So if you're one of those respectful people, thank you, I appreciate you, please keep that up. But as always, as I always say, I love getting comments, people talking about stuff. I don't always read and reply to every comment, because I get quite a few at this point, and that's not me sounding egotistical, it's just purely that there aren't enough hours in the day anymore for me to make videos and also read every single comment and reply to it. I glance at every single one, but I just don't have the chance to reply to them all. So usually if you post a comment, about a 90% chance I'm going to see it, even if I don't heart it or respond to it. But I am always interested to see what people have to say about these things, and just give it some real time and some real thought about, you know, what are other people's perspectives, what do other people think about it. But that rounds off the video. Honestly, not a lot else to say about the build. It works really well. I really enjoy it, and hopefully in the gameplay it's illustrated, but I haven't recorded it yet, so I don't know whether I look good or bad in the game. But as I can say for the final time, it's me, it's not the build. So just keep that in mind. But if you have enjoyed this video, as always, you know what to do. It's always appreciated if you give it a thumbs up. And if you are new around here, please do consider subscribing, because it's quick, it's free, and I'll always love you for doing so. I'll be back next week with a brand new Payday video, also a Walking Dead video on Tuesday, and very soon a Minecraft video. I keep saying I'm going to do one. It's more finding the time to record it and then edit it. So it's coming soon, inverted commas and trademark symbol. I'll have that out basically as soon as I can. I'm hoping to get out before the next Payday video next weekend, but we'll just have to see, because I don't know how much time I have next week. We'll find out. I have one more build that I'm about to record right after this that will be ready to upload, and may do it next week, may leave it and put something else in between for Payday, I'll see, which is the Akimbo SMG build. I have something really gorgeous cooking there that I really can't wait to share with you guys as well. But other than that, thank you all for watching. As I said, like and subscribe, and if you do, as always, fancy supporting me over on Patreon, not being a seller, it's just genuinely appreciated. You can click the link in the top right corner of the screen now or in the description, and donations, as always, are never expected, but are always appreciated, and they always go to supporting the channel and supporting all the videos that you guys get to see. But other than that, thank you all very much for watching. I will see you all next time with a brand new video. Until then, look after yourselves, take care, and I will see you all very soon.